All rise.
I want viewers watching my show to believe in themselves.
Judge Hatchett is compelling.
I was not the first one to throw a walk.
Let me just tell you what you just said.
Compassionate.
I really enjoy being a judge. Now I am touching people who I will never know I touched.
She's powerful.
You should have never let them walk out of your life when she was 3.
And she's on the bench.
Don't get me preaching up in here today.
Right.
You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Tracy Petty is suing Josh Raines in the amount of $2,150. Ms. Petty claims Mr. Raines failed to pay the rent for the apartment he sublet from her, which caused her to be evicted. Mr. Raines claims he tried repeatedly to contact Ms. Petty to let her know he was moving out, but she was unreachable.
All right, Miss Petty, Mr. Raines, you all had a friendship and you were subletting her apartment.
Yes, ma'am.
And then things went bad. So what happened? Why are you here suing?
Okay. Well, basically, Your Honor, what happened was I manage a boutique in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. I have an apartment not too far from my job. This is my career goal that I've set for myself. I got an opportunity to expand my career in San Francisco to open up a store for my manager, for my boss. He is the owner of the boutique that I run.
All right.
It's part ownership. So he gave me the opportunity to move to San Francisco to make more money, to open up a bigger business, bigger store, train some of the employees, and I, took the opportunity.
So was this a temporary move to get this new store open?
It was just to get the store going.
Okay.
So
all right.
yes.
All right.
So in the midst of me making this agreement with my boss, I am kind of going touch bases with Josh, what he's got going on in Fresno. He was telling me that he wanted to move down to Los Angeles. We had discussed it for years. Josh was supposed to move to Los Angeles. I mean, this has been like, you know how you set a 5-year goal, 10-year goal? This goal didn't have a number on it. Okay, he was supposed to move to Los Angeles years and years ago. Okay. So he conveniently, randomly calls me one day and he tells me that he's moving to Los Angeles, or he had already moved, something like that. His stories, they kind of fluctuate. So
so he's in
change.
Los Angeles.
He's in Los Angeles. This is what he tells me. The last time I spoke with him, he was moving to Los Angeles. So he calls me one day and he tells me that he's living in Los Angeles with some guy that we went to college with.
Okay.
Random. Okay.
All
so
right.
I said, okay, how's that going? Josh tells me that the living conditions is not what he expected, and he is no longer comfortable at this apartment, and he wants to move out.
Is that what you said? You were there, you were in LA, you were living someplace, but you weren't particularly comfortable where you were.
Yeah, well, I moved to LA because it took me a while because I graduated with a marketing degree, and LA is very competitive. So trying to get a job, even from a distance or even from here, it's hard. So I was like, let me get a marketing internship because if I get an internship, I can eventually land that job. So I moved to LA with a marketing internship. My friend let me stay with him because he knew I wasn't having money.
Do you know how many jobs he's landed, Your Honor?
But let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
So I know it's going to take a while to build some income, so he let me stay with him for a little bit. I got an internship and then I got a job as a pizza delivery guy. So I'm working, and then she tells me that she has to go to San Francisco for her job. And I'm like, okay. She says, well, she can't pay the rent while she's there. So she's acting as if I needed her, but she needed me too because she couldn't pay the rent.
He was sleeping on the couch.
Okay, but she couldn't pay the rent while she's in San Francisco. So essentially, it's me getting a foot to have a place that gives me motivation to get another job to get my own place. But at the same time, I'm helping her pay the rent so she can keep her apartment.
So you have to admit that you needed help because you were going to San Francisco and you needed somebody to cover the rent while you were gone.
Yes, and I've helped Josh in the past. He's helped me in the past. A flat tire here and there. He's helped me. And I've helped him as well. Speeding tickets, things like that. I've helped him in the past. So I thought this would be a good opportunity for both of us to help one another.
I'm glad you finally said that. Both of you were benefiting from this.
Yes, but he was benefiting a little more than I was.
How so?
Your Honor. He was, because he's a user.
I'm a user?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so
let's get to what happened. So now she's in San Francisco. You move into her place, yes?
Yeah, I'm moving to her place, and at the same time, I'm looking for places for my own for the future.
All right, so what agreement did you all have before you left to go to San Francisco? You were subletting your apartment. Did you have something in writing?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. I actually have the lease agreement here, if you'd like to take a look at it.
Did Josh sign the subleasing agreement?
Yes,
did you?
In my living room.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
See, Your Honor, she was like, I just need something just because. So to sign this, I never got to look over it. She said, you don't have to worry about it, just something to have.
Wait. you signed it
Yes, I signed it.
and you didn't read it?
No.
You didn't look over it?
Well, like you said, as a good friend, I was like, okay, just 3 months. We in and out. I'm
3
helping her.
months. So
I'm helping
was
her.
it your understanding that your commitment was for 3 months?
Yes.
That was both of our understandings.
There's both understandings. But see, let me go back and say what happened. Okay, I'm looking for my apartment. I'll meet with this manager. The place is listed, but it won't be available for a while. So he said he'll do him a credit check. I'm like, okay, it may take a couple weeks. He calls me a couple days later, and he says, oh, no, look, it went through. If you want to secure the place, you can put the money for the first month's rent. That secure your place. I was like, okay. I try to call her. I was like, look, I have good news. She doesn't reply. Okay, and eventually, like a week or two later, she still doesn't reply. So I hit her again. I ended up hitting her 17 times in 3 days.
17 times in 3 days.
But listen.
So why didn't you respond?
Because this is not something new.
Coming up on The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
Somebody calls you 17 times, I would
Well,
think...
if they've done it before, Your Honor, what's so different about this time?
And later,
I had to find out by everyone sending me text messages of my picture on the internet, all over the place. It was horrible.
The Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Tracy Petty, who is suing Josh Raines for breach of contract.
So 17 times, you didn't respond one time. Did you ever say, hey, this is really important?
Yes,
because if
no.
she has had a track record of you calling several times and it wasn't
Well,
important.
I called and I said, call me. I have some great news first. And then I said, call me. This is important. I need to talk to you. She never called me back.
Did you ever say, look, I found a place. I need to break our agreement because I'm moving?
No, he did
I
not.
didn't put it in a voicemail because I wanted her to call me back so we can go over all the details. Because at the same time, I don't know with her manager and everything, if I just leave and nobody's there. So we can make an agreement to find somebody to fill in while I'm gone.
If you are texting her and saying, hey, this is important, I've got good news, why not go one more step and say, look, Tracy, my apartment became available before I had expected. I need to talk to you about what we can work out. Yes?
So, I understand that, and I tried that. But so when I moved, I also lost my phone while I moved out.
No, I'm not
So-
talking about. I'm not talking about when you moved. I'm talking about before you moved.
Before I moved, I tried to
When you
contact
first
her.
found out that you had an apartment and you weren't going to be able to keep the 3-month agreement to sublease the place.
Yes, so I tried to contact her. I called her, texted her, emailed her. I got no reply.
Because you didn't put
Because I
anything
didn't know what he was
in there
calling
that
for.
said why you were calling.
You would think you
Your
call
Honor,
somebody if somebody calls you 17 times in 3 days, besides the bill,
like they're stalking you.
besides a bill collector, if somebody calls you 17 times in 3 days, you would think, okay, there's
They're
something
stalking
serious
you.
going on. Something
So,
serious.
out of those 17 times, maybe you could have picked up the phone.
I'm busy.
once?
I'm working. I have a life, Josh.
What
Well, you-
about
I'm
after
working.
work?
I
What
am
about
training.
after
I'm
work?
tired. I'm tired.
What
I don't want to
about-
talk to
what
Josh
about
all
just-
day long.
What about, just a quick text back?
Exactly.
What's up?
Well, had I known it
Exactly.
was important, I think I probably would have taken 10, 15 minutes
coulda-
out to have a
she coulda-
conversation with him.
What you could have did, you could have been like, look, I'm busy. I'll call you later, or I'll text you later. Oh, do you really need to talk to me now,
Your Honor,
or is
every
it about
time
this
Josh
or that?
calls me, it's about some other woman. Okay, or how he lost his little gig at where were you working
But
at
look,
O'Reilly?
What
happened with
seriously?
that?
And
He
this
was
women
working
don't
at
matter.
O'Reilly the last time.
When
Now,
you
he
call me
just
about
told
these
me
guys, I had no issue, right? I used to talk to you about the guys. I used to call you, right? I used to help you out with the guys. When your
Anyway, Your Honor,
ex-boyfriend,
I wasn't
did you
answering
wrong,
my
then
phone.
you
I
called
was
me and I helped
busy.
you out, right?
I was busy. I was opening
But I
up the
helped you when
store,
he called you,
training,
right?
training my new
All right,
employees.
you all both share some responsibility in this because you should have been more explicit in the messages that you left. Whether it was on the phone or whether it was texting, you should have done that. And at some point, you should have said, what's up? What do you need? Something. I'm busy. I'll call you on my coffee break. Somebody calls you 17 times. I would
Well,
think...
if they've done it before, Your Honor, what's so different about this time?
I've never called you 17 times
It's
in
like
3
the boy who
days.
cried wolf.
Maybe
But 17
I mean-
times? 17 times?
Maybe
You're,
like
He
you're
could have
under
been
oath.
drunk.
You're under
He could
oath.
have been drunk, Your Honor. I don't
for
know.
3 days straight.
Yes.
3 days straight. I'm gonna be
What
drunk for 3
happened in
days straight.
Cancun?
That's a different
Yeah, I
situation.
know. Bailed him out of that too, Your Honor.
All right, so
But
let me
listen.
see this
Yeah.
agreement. You had a
Yes, I do.
subleasing
here's the
agreement
lease
with Josh
from
that you
September.
didn't read. What kind of sense does that make?
He
Can I
read
say
it.
something, please?
He read it.
Yes.
At the end of the day, She's trying to pay me out to be this bad guy. This bad guy. My thing is, I may have had mistakes in the past while in my college years, but I'm trying to fix myself, get things together. I had the opportunity to take this job. Work on the job while getting this apartment. I had the opportunity, like everything, just like the job market, the apartment and housing market is very quick. If I lose it, I lose it.
You've got to pay some of this rent because you signed an agreement with her. Even though you didn't read it, you got to pay some of this rent. You do. And she has to bear some responsibility, too, for not at least responding to you and seeing if something could be worked out. Now,
why would I respond if he...
Stop.
What?
If she had said, you know, I tried, Judge, I tried to help out my friend, you know, couldn't work it out, couldn't find anybody else to come in and sublet for those couple of months or that last month or whatever it was, then I feel a little bit differently about this. So therefore, you are going to pay the $850 for the month. You are going to pay the $850 for the deposit, but you're not going to get the $450 for traveling.
Why not, Your Honor?
Because I said so. Because I said
well,
so.
I traveled because of his negligence,
because
Your
of
Honor.
your attitude, you're going to get $850, period, because you don't listen.
Thank you.
You do not listen. You have a horrible attitude. You're condescending. So I am going to decide in my discretion, do you get $850? The fact that you lost your deposit and the fact that you flew down to L.A. is on you. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $850.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $850.
I'm leaving here with only $850, an eviction on my credit. This friendship is not worth the headache.
Well, Judge Hatchett was more than generous. And given your nasty attitude, you should be happy with the $850 that you got.
Coming up.
I had to find out by everyone sending me text messages of my picture on the internet, all over the place. It was horrible.
Network featuring dynamic judges and live legal programming.
Well, we're not at your school, we're in my courtroom.
Unique court shows.
Where is any information about the company?
Live legal news.
That's what you should have done.
And a commitment to justice.
Either you tried or you did it.
The next generation of court programming in one dynamic network. Justice Central. You're watching Justice Central. Stay tuned. You're watching Justice Central. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett. Shelby Gaines is suing Bryn Byerly in the amount of $800. Ms. Gaines claims Ms. Byerly caused her to run into a locker, which caused her eye to swell, and as a result, she lost wages. Ms. Byerly claims it was an accident, and she feels she shouldn't have to pay.
I don't really understand how this all escalated to this place. Tell me what happened. Why are you suing?
So I'm a promotional model. I've been a promotional model on and off for about 5 years. And I met Bryn about 2 years ago on a promotional modeling job. And we got really close about a year ago. So she went away for a year, did her own thing, and came back. And she was really out of shape, and she wanted my help. And she wanted my connections, too.
Is that true?
It's true that I did want to tone up a little bit, so that's when I reached out to her and thought maybe we could start working out together again. I thought it would be a great way to reconnect with her and also get some new
connections.
Jobs. Exactly.
Okay, so you're kind of jump-starting back into the situation. So now what happens?
So she came to my gym at my apartment complex, and she wanted to, you know, work out every day. So what happened was that one day at gym, she was about to go on the scale to weigh herself, and she bent down and, you know, tried to untie her shoelaces. And I was behind her, and I thought it would be funny if I, you know, snapped a picture of her weighing herself, and then under the caption it said, if you lose the shoes, why don't you lose the earrings too? And I thought it would be funny.
What does that mean?
So that means that, you know, before you go onto a scale, you usually take your shoes off to try and, you know, weigh less.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Oh, please, I'm not going to get on the scales with my shoes on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, so I thought it would be funny. So I snapped a picture and posted it on
So
social
you're saying
media.
if you lose your shoes, why not lose your earrings too? I'm missing the punchline.
Well, just to, you know, make yourself weigh
Even less.
Yeah.
And you thought that was funny?
Yeah. At the time, I thought it was funny. In hindsight, I know it was a bit inappropriate, and
A bit?
Yeah.
So what happens? So you go online and you post it on social media, and what happens?
So I posted on social media, and then I got a negative reaction from my followers.
You think?
Yeah. I mean, some person told me that I was a body-shaming B-word, and I then realized that it was not, it was not funny. So I immediately deleted the photo and deleted everything. But by that time, some of my friends had screen captured the photo, and they made funny memes about it, and you know, the internet sort of did its thing.
Coming up.
I had to find out by everyone sending me text messages of my picture on the internet, all over the place. It was horrible.
Verdict with Judge Hatchett is back with the case of Shelby Gaines, who is suing Bryn Byerly for $800.
So how did you find out about it?
I had to find out by everyone sending me text messages of my picture on the internet, all over the place. It was horrible.
And so what was your reaction?
I was mortified. I felt extremely violated. I mean, I thought we were friends. We only worked together, but I was extremely hurt.
And so did you confront her?
I did. The next day, when we were supposed to meet up to work out, right as I was walking in the locker room, she was changing. So I pulled my phone out and I said, "Oh, how do you like it? How do you like being videotaped?" And she freaked out. She moved back really quickly and she hit her face on the locker.
So do you have any evidence of medical bills that you incurred because of this?
No, I don't have any medical bills, but I do have the email from my boss saying that I was hired for the $400 per day.
Oh, so this is not for medical treatment.
No.
This is for lost wages for $400 a day.
Yeah.
Judge Hatchett's verdict when we return. You're watching The Verdict with Judge Hatchett.
I understand why she did what she did. Perhaps maybe she shouldn't have confronted you quite that way. But you know, I don't feel good about granting your claim for $800 because you started this mess. She came in, you then leaned back, and you lost 2 days of work. So maybe that's a lesson learned. Your case is dismissed, so ordered.
Judge Hatchett has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
This was a private joke. I wish I never posted it online. I do hope you forgive me.
It was wrong and irresponsible of you to post that. I just need time to get over it.